Alright, how's everyone doing? Good to see all of you. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. It is a rainy Thursday. It's a rainy, miserable Thursday. Although it did cool down a little bit because of the rain. That's nice. That's enjoyable. I figured I'd just do some Amara speeds stuff. Um GTD focus, but like maybe I do some MTD. I don't know. Let me also start recording stream backup purposes. I always local record while I do time trial stuff while I stream now, just in case ISP. How we doing? Mr. Bowling, Mr. Sean, loading screen. Anyone else who might be lurking about? In the one complete run we did yesterday that was like super scuffed anyway, I was still within like 40 seconds of PB. Like the idea, the goal is sub 17 Amara. I think that's very doable. So I need to make correct choices. Like I was thinking about this slot again. Swapping the action skill damage for something else. But the question is what? If I went grenade radius, then fish would become very easy to use. If I went gun damage, then emergency pestilence use would get stronger. Because keep in mind, like, the way I'm defining emergency pestilence use is it's while I'm down, so I'm not able to move fast enough to get a significant driver bonus. I don't have my power charges. Um, I don't have Wrath doubled up. And yeah, that's all my gun damage. So like that reduces my total gun damage to 20. Well, what's a gun damage roll on class mod even? 35%? That's not a big number. It's not a big number. I think I'd rather go with grenade radius. Because splash radius, grenade radius both work on fish. So like making that shit big, making that shit girthy seems like a good play. The way I have my melee terror anoint placed now, I've changed it since since I originally set the record time for this category. Um I have it just on the face puncher now, which means I do more damage with all my other slots. But like it means I do less with body and mind because I don't have um gun anoint helping body and mind. Now I mathed this and I figured this was the most optimal way of doing it because um body and mind won't benefit too much from the various gun anoints here. It's like I can use it to stack up kill stack. A very small amount of it will get 150 over 90. I already have terror damage and fire rate over here. So yeah, like I only theoretically lose out. I guess technically speaking, I could, if I didn't use this EMP5, I could have a second face puncher with Terror Cryo. Now that'd be super risky because if I ever hold that face puncher in the wrong moment, I'm in bad shape. But I could. It's just I don't know if the body and mind damage has ever. Well, I know it has lost me some time. Like during crystals, often I'll be trying to kill stragglers with body and mind. But if I just have max radius fish instead, I think I'll be okay.
Enter the breach, Vault Hunter, and destroy that Guardian.
Echo cast on. Forgot to reset my profile again. I'll have to do that during stream today, I think. Get there, please.
after me.
Already choking.
What could have
The
happened
warm-up run.
here?
I never expect the
The
warm-up run to
planet
go
does
well.
not appear to have been ripped apart so much as burst open from
Also, the
within.
timer's not on screen in a place where I can see it. You can see it, but I can't. So I don't know, maybe that could be interesting. I have no idea what my pace looks like when I'm in combat this way.
I'm unstoppable.
Oh, there's a reset. I accidentally full repaired the pestilence too. Like, play it out, but I'm not happy with that.
An Iridian temple. That must be the source of the signal.
Come on, man.
Talk to the hand.
These guardians are different somehow. They attacked this planet. What purpose could they have?
If the item survived, no, it's too slow. Too slow. Hey Vibes, how are you? Hey Super. How am I, Pericles? I'm good. I'm good. A little low energy today, but nothing gets my ADHD brain focused like time trials running GTD categories. So
Time for a rematch.
I was also wondering what was off in that run. I haven't run GTD with dialogue on in a while. Welcome to run Snake here. Let me move the timer somewhere I can actually see it. That's useful.
Back off.
What could have happened here? The planet does not appear to have been ripped apart so much as burst open from within.
I'm unstoppable.
Okay, that's annoying. Like, that enemy lived, and they wouldn't have if I'd had my action skill damage roll. Maybe that means I just need to be more proactive about making sure I have high do harm stats, but like... That's annoying. I guess I could make sure I have terror, that would help too. Yeah, the solution there is just be less complacent when it comes to my terror management. Pace of glacial. So we play it out.
An Iridian temple. That must be the source of the signal. These structures structures are thousands of years old, but there is no record of any Iridian ruins on Minos. If that is the case, this temple must have been transported here from elsewhere.
This is so slow.
Interesting.
No. Hey Jester, how are you? Good news, finally got the fucking VGC. I saw it in Discord. Congrats. What run number was it? $1,964. That's a lot. But I'm glad to see your time investment pay off. Like the spawns are acting weird already. That first enemy wasn't where it's supposed to be. I need to rewire my muscle memory for this room. It's not like I have trouble going fast in this room when I'm warmed up, but like developing better habits for keeping my terror active will help me in other places. Like I can be super relaxed about the terror in, say, Malawan, but areas like the mobbing after Anathema before Crystals 2, those enemies are tanky enough that I want to ensure that the Pestilence Noble one-shots as many of them as I can.
This is your end.
An Iridian temple.
Let me fall into the
Source
pothole.
of the signal.
Fully energized.
Those vines are identical to those found on Necrotitheo. I never thought to connect them to that planet's disintegrating structure.
I am the brain.
Whatever, play it out.
Crystals.
Need
Interesting.
to practice more bits of the takedown than those first two rooms, so. So with the extra radius on the fish slap, crystals should be a lot cleaner. Or at least I can kill a lot cleaner. That doesn't necessarily make crystals cleaner.
Fully energized.
toxic item spawns. It's not ideal. Slow, but it's the warm-up. Even the city still hasn't paid over that pothole yet. How you doing, Tom? Yeah, they also haven't paved over the death ramp. There is a section of ramp early in the takedown that Black slides on it, they die. Really? Yeah. There's some stairs in Bounty of Blood like that, but there's also a ramp in Guardian Takedown. The Vault Hunters all have different hitbox sizes. So like, Black being taller, Black's hitbox is actually bigger. Meaning Black hits some death barriers, the others don't. It also means that Black and Zane, being tallest and second tallest, can mantle in some places where Amara and Moze can't. There's actually a couple speedrun tech things that Moze can't really do because she's too short. That's really awkward. Because I wasn't lucky with my self-dotting. I didn't use my action skill on time. It's gonna be really weirdly paced now. Oh, well, I fell off anyway. That's fine. Discovered how good the Splinter is. Very underrated shoddy. I believed that that thing would be overlooked. It was in DLC 3, and that's a period of time where people were not exactly thoroughly vetting their weapon choices. So, yeah. I get it. Amara should use Phase Spider on the walls and humiliate Flag's pets as a better beast. I totally agree, Don. I need that in my life now. Yeah, the ramp I was talking about, Tom, is not in this first room, but after the first room, on the right side. I'll try to gesture in its direction when I get over there.
Armed and dangerous.
What could have happened here? The planet does not appear to have been ripped apart, but is burst open from within.
Horses to my leg.
I don't have a radius for that, really? I mean, got the bad spawn set, but like I was also playing terribly there. Basically, the benchmarks I'm going for a sub 17 run is a minute 15 or faster for the first room. I've gotten as fast as a minute 6 on this build. And then we're trying for 4 minutes or faster on crystals, 1 completion. We're trying for like 8:15 or faster on anathema. Basically, we'll know we're on track late in the run if I finish crystals 2 close to the 12-minute mark. Or faster than the 12-minute mark. It's also possible. Because Scourge takes like 3 minutes. 3:15, something like that for me.
I am brimming.
So leaving like a minute for movement from crystals 2 and that mobbing to starting the Scourge fight. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
What could have happened here? The planet does not appear to have been ripped apart so much as burst open from within.
I'm freaking blessed. I am the greatest. I'll get you. Want a damn challenge?
17, not great, but can't be super choosy right now.
An Iridian temple! That must be the source of the signal.
Feeling good.
Happens.
Those vines are identical to those found on Necrotfeo. I never thought to connect them to that planet's disintegrating structure. More crystals. Interesting.
Acceptable.
Ruin them. Bleach this cup. Dance a dance of time. Back off. I'm ready for a fight.
I knew. Lord and Savior, the Pestilence. This gun's so sick. It's another of those that I bet you a lot of players don't even know exists, because guess what? Daddy only farm from the base game. Just incredibly awkward. I did not play well, but I recovered more time than I thought I would here.
I live and die, while others watch and turn a blinded eye.
Your goddamn supply.
I didn't mean to press my grenade button there. It was a misclick. I hate when they do that.
Tiger pounded!
Like 5 seconds if they decide to fly on one side of the tunnel rather than the other.
Come then, burn to meet a coward.
Having terror there makes that initial loop a lot more consistent.
Get used to this.
Obviously.
Cast it. Gotta hand it to me. This is your end. You wanna go?
Should remember I can shoot the GA. Or minor cook a combo. I'm worried about that.
Helping hand.
That's way too early. That's why I do both. Need 16. I'll take it. Not terribly fantastic, but I'll take it.
Shame to see such brilliant ancient technology destroyed, but I must admit you make it entertaining to watch.
guess maybe I had a very inopportune dot pick. I lost lunchtime. I lost like 6 seconds to fucking potato aim, but that's in character.
This is all too easy. Make this quick, yeah? Say goodbye.
That went well. Yeah, I'll miss the 12 mark by a little bit, but not by too much. That's small W. Or I guess small L, technically, rather than major L. Minor L. Yeah, I missed it by 30 seconds.
Time may yet make a
I think that's still fine.
Your kind will learn to thrive within their self.
Scary. Not gonna have my corrosive dot for much of this speedrun. Yeah, it's a speedrun. How you doing, Big Bog? Morning, Urban Mech. I don't know my driver dot here. I lose a little bit of time just of only having normal mindfulness stack.
The source of the energy
Probably shouldn't have
signature.
popped it there, but
Vault Hunter, so we may get a reading on whatever's inside.
I'm feeling spicy. Feeling like I got that dog.
So it must be.
Okay.
All the way
Reckoning!
the diadem spawn. Come on. You big fuck. That's the problem with running EMP5. I don't have a way to insta-kill diadems. So they have to cooperate AI-wise, and I have to position well. It's kind of a big ask. That could have gone better. Game's kind of shit. Oh, saved a diadem. Oh, not this set. Missed there. That's actually bad. This was a really good run. It's not the run, but this was a very good run. Yeah, this was pretty good.
Back off!
1723. That's 10 seconds faster than the record that was before I upped it. So this would be a second place run, I think.
All of them.
What's the board's
As they say,
look right now?
no suspension of consciousness for the morally depraved.
I forget what the other times look like. Yeah, so Butter upped from 1733 to 1725, but I upped to 1705. Okay, so yeah, this would have been a second place run still. Where did I lose time? My input on hitting the button before Crystals 1 was kind of slow. My movement after the first room in the takedown was kind of slow. That one flying enemy that I spent like 6 seconds shooting at the end of the post-anathema mobbing, that was slow. Yeah, that's where I lost time. And I didn't have my driver dot active for a couple key sections. 5 seconds on slam down the tunnel. I forgot that happened. You're right. You're right. I lost that time too. Booping off the Sarah's head. Now, I should honestly, to resolve that, what I should do to activate my driver dot there is, instead of using it on the last enemy, I should kill the last enemy with my pestilence or a fish, or most optimally, with a fish while holding my face puncher so I get terror. And then I should, as I'm getting ready to jump, just shoot my action skill to aim at the tube where the Guardians are flying out of, because Tandava hits through walls, so like, you know, anything near that is gonna get hit. And if I have terror active, then that should kill. casting and blasting. We sure are, Stump. We sure are. Back up your phones and photos if you haven't recently. You just had a catastrophic motherboard failure on Monday and lost a year's worth of pictures. Ah, I'm sorry, Urban Mech. I don't take enough pictures. Like, I take like
Enter the breach,
3
Vault Hunter, and destroy that
group
guardian.
selfies when I go on vacation. Like there are fewer pictures of me that exist in like the last 5 years than like any other period of my life. I just don't do it. I would hate to lose pictures of others that I have though. Just gonna emanate a lot of offensive voters. Ask Mose. Mose would know. Mose is into it. On a Snowdrift Vic Rush with incendiary damage, max size AoE. Wow, yeah, today is a lucky day for you. We're lame and pay for iCloud storage. Oh, so do I. It's like $1 or like $3 or something a month for like an amount of storage I can actually justify using. Rather than what the default is like 8 gigs or some dumb shit. Yeah. I pay for iCloud storage too. It's like $3 a month at max for the amount of storage I'm getting, so. Never remember to take pictures because I got too busy actually enjoying what I'm doing. You know, that sounds kind of like an old man take. I don't get down on others for taking pictures. I just honestly never remember to myself. Oh, no, that's it exactly for me too, Jester. Like, same exact energy. I like having pictures to commemorate things. It's just I never think to do it. Our 200 gigs is full. We're about to start 99 a month for 2 terabytes. Well, it makes sense because there's a bunch of you. You actually remember to take photos, I imagine. Fun experience getting everything fixed. I'm sorry I had to go through that. That sounds fucking frustrating. Hey, Jedi Monkey. Good morning. How are you? Always good to see you.
Love an extra set of hands.
What could have happened here? The planet does not appear to have been ripped apart so much as burst open from within.
I sacrificed a second there because I want Terror up, because the Terror will ensure that my Pestilence Noble one taps everything.
I'm projecting.
Why game? Why game? Yeah, that cost me like 4 seconds.
An Iridian temple! That must be the source of the signal.
Back off.
These guardians are different somehow. They attacked this planet. What purpose could they have?
Yeah, that's the thing with this different class mod. If I am really bad about maintaining my terror, I am far less able to hit certain one-shot important enemy thresholds. Like, it's easier for me to land my fish where I need it, but everything else becomes more difficult. Just need to remember to use this thing.
Hold them off for me. Come on. Run.
Item over there is weird. That's very weird. Ah, that's super unfortunate. Lost a second of that.
My burden is a billion worlds. I live and die, while others watch and turn a blinded eye.
Strap there. Oh, sloppy. Sloppy. Okay, I shouldn't have popped my action skill there, and I think I'm gonna pay for it. I needed that for a specific use, and now I don't have it. Maybe. Okay, still worked out, kind of.
Officially protest the flame with words of fear. Come then to burn beneath a coward's head.
A bit cleaner. Take what I can get, though. The cycle should even out here now.
So right.
Go. still too early, but that's why we double up. Is Tandava, Fish Slap, and Groundbreaker off Tandava or Remnant, or Body and Mind, can all phase Anathema by themselves when I have my buffs up. So me doing all of them at once just ensures that something works. This is slower than the last one. Decent chunk slower.
We built for the destroyer an endless
See what happens.
age.
Maybe I'll move better on the lower section. So you moving better on the lower section. Am I right? Probably didn't need to slam there, but that was just for safety. I have my action skill. Having to use the jump pad because I don't have my action skills. Cringe.
Gotta hand it to me. Oh, I could get used to this.
Oh, they're being so aggressive. This is already so scuffed. Look on the runs today. Go fast and eat ass. Do my best, deck. Do my best. Who's in here? That's so unfortunate. And another reset. I lost too much time. Crystals 2. Unfortunate. That was like 3 seconds ahead going into Crystals 2, but then I blew it. How you doing, Rabbit? Watching Quadr go at it, like this is getting me all excited. We need to do some takedown runs soon. Takedown design is just, it's so good. There's so many ways you can go about it. And like the level designers really went off on GTD in particular. Because like there's some map geometry that there is no reason they would have designed in the way they did unless they knew it was going to be used for speedrunning tech. So like that's super fucking based. Like that's W game design. Like the route I take to to do that jump instead of having to interact with the platforms after Anathema.
Enter the breach vault
There's like
and
6
destroy that
different
guardian.
natural ramps you can use for that lineup in that area, depending on how much movement speed you have. And then there's multiple rocket jump lineups. It's just really cool. They planned it. Like too many cool things to be an accident. Hey newbie. Doing alright, have a meeting with boss tomorrow. Last night we're likely fully kicked off the assistant manager for being a complete prick and asking us to do a BS task 30 minutes before midnight while all their managers finish everything by 10 p.m. Hopefully that meeting goes well for you and not how I would expect it to go for you. Don't you like this gig? Isn't this the new one? Or have you not started the new one, you're just interviewing?
To the hands. Is that the best you've got?
What could have happened here? The planet does not appear to have been ripped apart so much as burst open from within.
Feels so good.
I got the bad spawn set, but I actually played pretty well, so 112 on that.
An
That's
Iridian
nice.
temple. That must be the source of the signal.
Ready to unleash this power. Gotta hand it to me.
These guardians are different somehow. They attacked this planet. What purpose could they have?
Too much movement speed, I got stuck on terrain for like 5 seconds. Awkward.
Destroy. That one needed more training.
I got very greedy there.
I'm protected.
Why are you in here? What even happened? I did not play that very well.
My burden is a billion worlds. I live and die, while others watch and turn a blinded
I don't know the Revenants in terms of fantastic thing. So awkward. They still blocked me. I killed them and they still managed to block me.
come then turn to meet a coward's end.
The Pestilence, you want to fucking dot me? The entire purpose you're here?
Can't run from me.
I didn't get my terror. Less than ideal. Landed my fish throw well. Shit. Don't move, don't move, don't move. Okay. Recovered. Not gonna be a fantastic time, but oh well.
Say goodbye.
A lot of things to manage with this build. I need to be moving fast, but not so fast that I lose control movement speed-wise, because that's very possible here. I have way more movement speed than is appropriate for practical use. But I also need to manage my terror, my action skill cooldown. I need to self-damage constantly to keep my movement speed and my damage up, but not so much that I actually die when there's nothing to kill. Need to be holding the correct weapon for the correct input. Need to ADS with my shotgun when I'm about to get fucked like that. 830 and out was slow as fuck compared to the other runs so far today. Like, that anathema kill was fine, but everything before it kind of wasn't.
make it entertaining to watch.
All my power.
Didn't want to have to click the face puncher that many times, but didn't give me my terror. It was weird.
Coursing through my veins. Better move.
Slower than last run. Most common mistake in TGTD runs.
Unstoppable.
Mishandling the items. I would have to say. Mishandling the items. Either getting a little too complacent with like, oh, I have time to do this before I have to deal with this one. And then, spoiler, I didn't have time. Or in builds where I shoot them to kill them, shooting them and missing. Shooting them without enough overkill or damage buffs. Detonating them at the incorrect time in general. Any build that uses a spark plug, if I accidentally kill them all with a spark plug.
Oh, you just made a big mistake. I can feel the power. You're dealing with a tiger.
You see how close I came to dying there? I don't know if you were paying attention to my health bar, because I barely was. But that's because the way this build functions, I get so much damage formula that my own dot becomes capable of killing me. This is not a lifesteal build. So I live by getting auto-idle procs, and by keeping up my Samsara stacks, which means I need to hit multiple enemies with my Tandava, or else I stop healing. Kind of like this that you're seeing in slow motion. Yeah, see, I didn't keep my Samsara stacks up, so I got punished. This was so bad. I don't know if I like leading with a good run or not being able to get a good run in terms of these streams. Like, we started out strong, and it has not gone as well since.
Fear not, time may yet make a paradise of heaven. Your kind will learn to thrive within their cell.
Wow, I didn't even get that. Oh.
Fully and this is your end.
Extremely slow. Pain. Hey, Vocal, how are you? Another thing I need to do is I need to use my action skill like that there, which means I need to plan how I use it for the entire rest of that room before that point. Because I used it a little too early there. Didn't have as much food suit as I wanted to. Should have double popped.
Yes, it's probably a monster of some sort, but
Play this out because I'm here, but like this is not a good run.
So it must be.
My fish slaps are fucked too. Not a good run. Do it better next time.
I am the greatest.
Guess I can generate terror off of pillars. I always forget that's an option. Yeah, playing made dinner, some cookies. How are you? How's the speed? We started out with a really good run. That would be a second place time on the board. Now I have first place already, so like whatever. But a time that would have been second place on the board, and haven't been able to get as good a run since, unfortunately. There's a lot of moving parts. It's a complicated build to play, and also I'm kind of bad. So, like, I'm a full minute behind here. LOL.
I've got something for that.
Ooh, nice remnant, though. Kind of bad to the record holder. Well, that's why I said kind of, not completely. Not so bad that luck can't cause me to get a good run. Okay, I'm getting better at the Scourge inputs, at least. That started the fight, though. Need to hit a very specific, like, path with my fish throws. I guess something else I could do is, I can build Groundbreaker off of the pillars. Like, if I hit directly in the middle here with Pandava, then it should be a big Groundbreaker.
No suspension of consciousness for the morally depraved.
Hey, Murftacular Hex. Nice. Yeah, slow. We need to be a minute faster. Most complex build in BO3 for me. It's one of the most complex. It'd be between this and attempting to actually go fast on Killer Queen.
I guess in Killer Queen's case, it's not that complex, depending on, like, you can make it more or less complex. Like, it's very simple with Red Fang. If you go Bounty Hunter, Killer Queen, while also trying to do damage, while also trying to avoid all the pet bugs, then it gets really complicated. But I think it's still more straightforward than this, if I had to, like, put a gun to my head, give an opinion on that. Yeah, this is probably the most complicated build I play. I can't say most complicated build anyone has ever made, but it's the most complicated one I play. I think sub 17 is doable. Absolutely vocal. Sub 17 is the goal. The 1705 that I have has like 20 seconds of obvious time save.
Enter the breach, Vault Hunter, and
So like
destroy
it should
that
be
Guardian.
giving me less trouble than it is, but GTD has a lot less RNG than MTD in the run, but when you're trying to push for like record times, that's when the RNG starts becoming a problem again. Because, like, for example, there's two different spawn sets in the first room. One of them is on average like 4 to 5 seconds faster than the other. Not a big deal, but like when you're trying to save 20 seconds throughout the run, then that adds up. And then the mobs right before you hit the button for Crystals 1, you can get any number of diadems from 0 through 6. 8 might be possible, but I've never seen more than 6. Getting 0 is obviously the fastest for this build, because, like, I have given up a way of popping the diadems in favor of having the move speed gun. It'd be the perfect runtime, sub 16. I don't know where Amara caps out runtime-wise, because she's just not able to clear as efficiently as Zane or Flak. Moze and Amara are not as efficient as Zane and Flak for the purposes of Guardian Takedown. It's just not happening. They're not getting close to those times. But I don't know what the actual gap is going to be. Now, it's worth noting Flak can still be pushed by a few seconds, but currently Zane is the fastest. Flak is 9 seconds behind that. I still think that can flip the other direction, by the way. And then Moze and Amara are currently 2 seconds apart, with Moze being 2 seconds faster. However, any speedrunner can tell you that's just the quality of the individual runs. Because, like, Super put in a very good Moze run, and I have 20 seconds of obvious time save in my Amara record. That's why Moze is currently faster than Amara for this category. So, I think in terms of where things cap out, I'd expect Amara caps out in, like, the low 16s. Moze probably caps out in the mid 16s. Because for you to get faster than Amara on Moze with that Lucky 7 setup, it's theoretically possible, but in terms of human input, you will never achieve it. You'll never do it. You need insane RNG and, like, it's like tool-assisted territory. Reason being, your movement speed is dependent on how recently you've taken damage on that Moze setup. So, obviously, if you somehow managed, like, a no-damage run, well, you're keeping your maximum movement speed the whole time. And then keeping that movement speed and not dying to falling off from running 5 times as fast as Zane moves, is like, that's not happening either. Tool assisted for Moze. I think to see Moze actually hit, like, towards her peak, you're looking at tool-assisted territory. Because the top Flak and Zane runs, they don't have that movement speed issue where it's uncontrollable. In fact, Flak moves the slowest of the 4 characters in Guardian Takedown. Yet Flak has the potential to clear the fastest because of how the kit works. Yeah, Flak and Zane are more in the realm of, like, player control. They're very controllable. Um, Amara is mechanically difficult, and Mose is like mechanically unreasonable to optimize. Like the Mose run isn't terribly complex in terms of gameplay as long as you know what you're doing with a Lucky 7. But the movement speed optimization bit is the part where tool assisted like matter. Because the way that works is when you're spec'd into Phalanx Doctrine on Mose, and you have Vagabond shield parts, Vagabond being additional movement speed, or I don't have anything that can roll that on me. Additional movement speed, um, for having a full shield. And you can get up to 3 of those, depending on your shield, but like Old God rolls 3, for example. And that's a common pick there. And that's 21% movement speed for having 3. So 21% movement speed, but when you are spec'd into Phalanx Doctrine, every time a stack of Phalanx Doctrine decays, so once its whole duration has elapsed, until the next time you take damage, you get an additional copy of your shield's worth of wall full parts. So you get an additional 21% movement speed for every enemy you kill, as long as you never take damage. You see how that could be, like, insane if you could keep that bonus active? Like, it's permanent as long as you don't take damage. So let's say Mose kills every single enemy in this first room. Which is what? Let's call it, like, 20 enemies. Let's just do a nice round number. Let's call it 20. Well, that means... 420%? No, wait, way more than that. Way more than that. Yeah, like, Mose is going faster than everyone else in the game combined if she was to clear this first room without getting hit. And you know why that's very important? Because the very next room, you can save a lot of time if you can bypass the jump pads. So, like, for example, with that amount of movement speed on Mose, you can just go from, like, where you walk through that door. You can just jump from there directly to Crystals 1. You don't have to go around. You don't have to do those jump pads, the spinning rock. None of that. You can just jump from after this room to Crystals 1. Saving, like, 25 seconds from one jump. And that's just one place where you can do that. Geometric progression, no. Geometric progression is fine as long as you are not skipping any mandatory enemies. There are no mandatory enemies in the second room until you're trying to enable the button for crystals. So, like, that one section where there's no mandatory enemies, just mandatory movement, if you're able to bypass it completely, you can. And, to my knowledge, in terms of a reasonable build, an actual build that will be competitive in the rest of the run, Mose is the only one that can do that, because Vigor does not last long enough on Amara. Going for a max violent speed infiltrator with maximum move speed everywhere else on Zane would cripple your build to the point where you're not doing anything anyway, unless you're really good with menu swapping. Black just can't get enough movement speed without Speed Demon, and Speed Demon is banned in time trials. Doesn't count as out of bounds. You're not going out of bounds, you're just taking a more direct route. Out of bounds would be like the door after crystals 1, you can crouch and clip through. That's bypassing mandatory enemies and going out of bounds.
What could have happened here?
Almost died.
The planet
It's
does
fine.
not appear to have been ripped apart, so much as burst open from within.
Is that the...
Inputs were so off. Still 111 though. I could have been way faster, but I played horribly. I got the good spawn pattern. I just didn't really
An Iridian
play well.
temple. That must be the source of the signal.
And we YOLO a couple of fish there, because I'm not going to need my full grenade supply. Because getting some kills there would be free vigor. No kills.
Those vines are identical to those found on Necrotafeo.
How you doing, Glenn?
I never thought to connect them
Mr.
to that planet's
Glenn.
disintegrating structure.
You see that the Shiny Gimmighoul event, it's full odds. So they're assholes. Like, yeah, you can get a full odds Shiny Gimmighoul. Like, oh, thanks. Yay.
Interesting.
The people on Twitter complaining about Incineroar. Incineroar is gonna be so dumb in VGC. It's absolutely gonna get banned for Smogon. Smogon, whatever. It's gonna get the DOU ban hammer. But like, it's not getting banned in VGC, so.
I'll get to...
Quack Jiggling, you got a good-looking mainframe, Quack Jiggling.
J-Bridge, I like your mainframe too. Thank you so much for that 35 month. I appreciate it.
Fully energized! Dead yet?
Bad movement.
Armed and dangerous. I am the brave.
Oh, that was a stupid mistake. I've not made that mistake in so long. I lost so much time on that. Ugh. Hard choke. Hard choke.
My burden
Speaking Hoopers.
world, I live and die, while others watch and turn a blinded eye.
Hey Cal, how you doing? After a submarine trip, you let me play Iron Lung with the class cast control ending. Feel like you're making a collection of references there. Man of the internet. This is slow.
I am brimming.
Cause I'm bad. I know it's probably annoying to hear me say I'm bad every 2 minutes, but like, these time losses are all skill issue events.
You sheepishly protest the flame with words.
Not bad.
Come then to burn to meet a coward's end.
So much power. Better move.
Lost so much time. It's probably gonna be the slowest anathema of the day.
Gotta hand it to me. Go.
That aim.
Can't run from me.
Oh, why did I do that? Lucky I had movement speed to ST to safety. Holy shit. Gross and slow. 837. Good reset.
Thanks, guys.
But I'm not gonna. I need the practice.
Shame to see such brilliant ancient technology destroyed, but I must admit you make it entertaining to watch.
Like, I clearly need crystals to practice, so resetting before crystals 2 is just not the move.
I always hear this is urine when she says that. "11:03 p.m. on a Thursday night. This is urine," Amara whispers to Mose.
Run!
Hey Ace, how you doing?
Hold them off for me.
20 seconds behind.
I am brimming.
Is urine like when she throws a piss grenade? Yeah. Hey Sora, thank you for the 25 months. I appreciate it.
It's on now.
And that action skill is gonna cost me. While we practice this. 'Cause I need it. Nah. We're gonna practice this with no timer.
Quag jiggling the jiggle wiggle skin, quag jiggling the poggy woggy skin, quag pog the jingle bingle skin, qua the bingus dingus skin, frost pea dance.
Good one, Sora. Jump pads are like chump pads, am I right? It's true, they're slower. Jump pads are a time loss. Which is why when they changed the platforms in GTD to jump pads, the whole takedown got slower. Got challenged to post the saddest song I knew. I was yelled at for my answer and have been banned from Discord server for it, so that was fun. Wow. So now that I'm not on the timer... Well, actually, I can't really do that skip either, because the enemies won't spawn properly. I have to at least kill these.
Always useful.
At least I think that's enough.
Feeling good.
Like, jumps like that, my earlier rambling about movement speed, in theory, if you were to do modes and never take damage, you could just do that without setup. Oh, spawn cap. Unfortunate. See if we get spawns on the other ones. Oh, not weak. We are getting spawns now. They're just delayed. Okay. Oh, I forgot Amara's active skills don't fucking work when you're in the air. So the idea was, if I run Shooting Star,
Fully energized.
gives me some pretty good area clear. But if I go down, then it doesn't. I gotta science this out. I need a better way of surviving here. That's not it either. Let's try that again. Hey, Jacqueline. It was the Ace of Spades, wasn't it? Passing rad, Amara. How you doing, butter?
Evan, I know why you're screaming. It's because you knocked all the water out of the bowl, but I watched you do it as I was going live. So, no, you get to scream at the door.
Where's the fight? Ooh, needed the break.
You know what movement speed lets you do? We jump from there to here. I'm doing okay.
A fight? For me? Oh, you shouldn't have.
I guess that's the downside with shooting star. I don't get good Samsara access. I get terrible clear the mind and body and mind uptime. Well, not terrible clear the mind, terrible.
The ban you for that? Yeah, this seems like one of those situations. Was it for that? Like, was it a meme ban? Like, lack of do harm, lack of do harm. Yeah. Let me try Phase Slam. Phase Slam is the other thing I had a bunch about there. It was like, higher base than Tandava. Less GA bonus. I don't have the Anoint powering it up either. But higher base. Do a Zerlin's playthrough next. I don't know. The BL2 mod. I honestly don't give a shit. Do what you like. How are you gonna know what you like if you ask people on the internet to decide your every gaming move? Do what you like. What other people think about it doesn't matter. Having feedback helps. I understand. Answer remains the same, though. Like, I can't tell you what you should do in terms of which game you should be playing. It's not something anyone will have the answer to except for you. Interesting that I can make that jump without any mindfulness stack. I think it's because I had a bunch of bigger stacks. That's cool.
Ready for a fight.
Of course, I didn't save my Phase Slam for the thing I actually needed it for. Instead, I greeted some dumb shit. your center is off. And I have the slow melee animation. Yeah, I think Tandava's just better. Faster animation. My Anoint already supports it. I can use it like a phase slam if I aim it at my feet, or I can use it to be better if I aim it farther.
Reincarnated as myself? Lucky.
You know why we're having bad luck? Because we don't have a nice skin on our Pestilence. I think Leather and Regret looks pretty good. Digital Horizons is always a banger. But like, the poop skin on the fart gun. Now I'm gaming. Covers an area the Pestilence can't range, yeah. How to do poop, yep.
Not dealing with the siren.
Like, if I pay close attention and make sure to use my Groundbreaker to snipe these Sarahs, it's a lot safer. That was a lot cleaner.
You're warmed up. Yay!
Another thing I need to practice is if I know a Sarah's gonna charge that I can't deal with, if I just get to the front edge, if I just start edging, just really aggressively edging, then its teleport won't put it all the way in. And it'll just immediately back out. Yeah, that was better. Okay. That was the practice I needed. Go ahead, really aggressively edging? Yes, sir. It's optimal. Keep murdering, I'm almost there. Let him cook. Aggressively edging, just going at it really hard, then back off a little. Exactly.
Enter the breach, Vault Hunter, and destroy that Guardian.
set of hands. Will you even try?
What could have happened here? The planet does not appear to have been ripped apart, so much as burst open from within.
Fully energized!
Altitude. Still too much altitude.
I am the greatest!
And I'm bad at judging my range today.
Talk to the hands!
Not my best work.
An Iridian temple! That must be the source of the signal. These guardians are different somehow. They attacked this planet. What purpose could they have?
Feeling good!
Dude, we got really bad Dynam RNG here. Got what, 4? 0 is optimal, but we got 4.
Crystals. Interesting.
A fight for me! Oh, you shouldn't have! We're just getting started. Your hands to me! I can feel the power!
Actually, that was pretty clean. Until that happened. Coverable up? Yeah. Hog.
Crystalline structure. Who touched your punch? I am perfect!
Decided to stagger lock that enemy with a face puncher, which is not something I do often. But crowd control. Since I didn't have to deal with that extra pack of Sarah's.
Full smart for me!
Okay, that was a little bit better. It's still pretty bad in the beginning, but I recovered some of the lost time.
It is a billion worlds. I live and die.
Was for yesterday to drink water? I should. Thank you.
Turn of blindness.
After this run. Unfortunate movement. Okay, that remnant crit. Nice. That was a very cheeky jump. I also wasn't entirely certain you could cancel a Pestilence reload with the Mantle. So, learning experience.
You sheepishly protest playing with words of fear. Come then to burn beneath a tower head.
Helping hand.
Oh no, that's not good. I'm not paying attention. Extraordinarily bad movement here. That's like minus 8 seconds.
Can't run from me.
Oh, and I don't have my action skill. Luckily, body and mind is still active. If I feel like I hit too much of a wall here, we might do some Malawon as well. Like, that's also something I can work on. But, Malawon. Incredibly fun for build testing and casual gameplay, incredibly frustrating for trying to go for world record speedruns.
Fully energized.
It's the RNG. Yeah, this is close as fuck, dude. Tempted to reset right now. That movement. Like, not as shit as the last one, but still slower than I'm okay with. Yeah, still like 20 seconds slower than where I would want to be. It was almost disastrous.
To see such brilliant ancient technology destroyed, but I must admit you make it entertaining to watch.
Oh, and then I fucked that up. Ugh.
I am primitive.
Did I just lose count, or did my action skill break back? No.
Just make a big mistake. Your deep as a siren.
I do forget to use my fish in this build as well. This is just kind of there. Really only for bossing. Like Nova's hit instantly.
Ready to unleash this power.
That's something I could use for like this. That's fine. Should have hit my action skill. I had no reason not to. I don't know why I was holding on to it. MTD were you Nova and the barrels will Nova you back. Crowd control is a survival tactic, not in my Borderlands. Lazy was bringing this up yesterday with, you know, people talk about how impossible OP10 Vora is, quote unquote, even if you pimp hab. And like, that's not fucking true. It's as he described it, I'm paraphrasing here, but if you can't survive in a boss arena with the boss for 1 minute, just like trying to survive, not even trying to kill it, just for 1 minute, you don't deserve to kill that boss. It's as simple as use your basic movement to not get hit. That is a core skill that Borderlands players have never developed. Wonderland's boss design is the most in-your-face about, hey, don't stand there. But BL3 attempted it with Vora and with Pete. But people cheese Pete and hate on Vora because it's much harder to cheese. And then BL3 attempted it with Anathema. It even attempted it with Mouthpiece, the very first major boss. We don't count Shiv, he's just a regular fucking badass. Mouthpiece, the first boss where his only mechanic is don't stand in the giant glowing danger zone. But like, didn't sink in. So then Anathema attempted it. Didn't sink in. People just hate on GTD mindlessly as well. And Wonderlands designs almost every boss around, hey, there is somewhere you should not be standing during this fight. And people complained about boss damage until all the bosses got nerfed into the ground, except the DLC bosses. Like, rolling places can be hard. They absolutely can be. But some are much less difficult to counteract than others. Like, Veracitus, for example, is as close as, like, it's just don't be close. Just, if it's getting close to you, don't be there anymore. That's simple. That's it. And that's too much. Waster just moved 2 inches left or right. Yeah. Waster even sometimes struggles to hit you when you're standing still. It's even forgiving when you're standing still. It's only because the whole section tutorial is you for the fight as you're getting there. Yeah, like, their level design is good. In their level design and their boss placement, Gearbox being they here, has been good in the last 3 games. In terms of, like, it tells you what you need to do for the thing that's coming up. Like, they consistently do that. I'd say Borderlands 2 does a good job of that as well. Wonderlands is the most in your face about it, but like BL3 does it too. Warwick has a Nova that you cannot dodge. It would not be an issue if the OP scaling didn't make dots so bad. It's in a game where every character already reserves a weapon slot for a full heal on single instance of damage weapon. The game is already constructed in a way where everyone's doing Moxie healing anyway. You have a counter to that in your kit. And the other Nova is just a 1 damage one to turn off the B shield, which, separate conversation, but it's funny when players say, hey, you should just make stuff harder to counter the strongest things. And then when they do exactly that with that 1 damage Nova specifically designed to counter the most popular damage increasing item in the game, people hated it. Hey Zolful, how you doing? Guild 2 is the best game I've ever played story-wise and fun-wise, I would say. I'm glad you enjoy it. Mouthpiece was an inspired boss. It's a shame he's gone so soon. Mouthpiece is such a good boss fight, they have you do him twice. You fight him again in an optional side quest. Like, good boss design. It's a shame, like, most players now in 2023 don't even fight him a single time because you can skip that section of the game and then you can just not do that side quest. You never see him. I don't know about BL3. BL3 is kind of mid-story, really epic gameplay. No Borderlands game has a good story. I'll be blunt. Wonderlands, they actually tried harder with the writing. But no Borderlands game has a good story. BL1 was background storytelling before Dark Souls made that received well. BL2 is a showcase in mediocrity, except Handsome Jack makes you forget. Handsome Jack is so well performed, so well acted, that everything else around him automatically looks better because he's in the room. And BL3 doesn't have a Jack to distract from the story being mediocre. It just doesn't have the Jack effect. So all of the weird pacing and weird plot decisions and characters that don't land, they all pop out more. I think that's why BL3 gets the story criticism more. Because they're not that different quality-wise. But to your point, Soulful, yeah, BL3 really shines in the gameplay department. Really fun game. I agree. Gameplay is definitely the strength of this game. I would agree with BL2 having a better playthrough experience in terms of how much you enjoy the, hey, I'm gonna start a new character and go through the end of story mode. I think BL2 has it more enjoyable there. I would agree with you there. Even though I don't prefer that game over this one, I think that's just something that's fair to acknowledge. Boss so nice, you fight him twice. The only CC in lands I don't like is Wonderland Snake Archmages. I just find the circles explode a little too quickly. Yeah, coiled mages in Wonderlands hit really hard, really fast with minimal telegraph. Unless you have absurd movement speed and are playing a ranged build, they're very hard to avoid. That's true. Didn't like the streamer vibe thingy of the villains. I think a lot of people didn't vibe with that. I would like to point out that that's sort of on brand with the humor, the flavor of humor that Borderlands identified with from BL2 onwards, where they take a slightly dated joke and make it a character's entire personality. So, like, if that slightly dated joke doesn't land, the entire character doesn't land. Didn't land well, could have been better. Yeah. Feel seen. You agree with that take, Ken? Never played the pre-sequel, got it for free on the Steam sale a couple years ago, and never touched it. It's one of those overlooked games, because it's not a numbered Borderlands entry, and it is one of those games that it needed to get over some hurdles in terms of life cycle. It didn't get a proper DLC cycle. And fan negativity really made people unwilling to give that game a chance. And I think that's really... I think that really sucks. Like, people should be able to try something out without fear of, like, being ostracized by the fandom of a game for attempting the latest entry, right? But it was very trendy to hate on TPS when it came out. Very trendy. That started dying down when BL3 came out, but I hate that it requires a new game for people to stop shitting on the most recent game. It's gonna happen again with whatever lands game we get next. People are gonna pretend as if they weren't flinging their shit at the walls in every Wonderlands conversation. They're gonna pretend, but, like, we got the receipts. Every time a new title comes out, people start shitting more aggressively on the new one, and then people are able to try out the previous favorite target. I really wish there's more of a community effort to tamp down on that negativity, because there's a lot of players who are missing out on things they'd otherwise like. I think TPS has awesome character design. The fact that they interact in the story, that was something that really started becoming key in TPS. Like, sure, BL2 had one headhunter where that happened, but in TPS, your characters regularly comment on the plot events, and I think that was a well-received feature. The skill tree design was incredible. and the advances in movement tech. I really enjoyed that. So it did those things well, among others, but those are some of the big ones. This is the most appreciated one, I would say. Overappreciated, in my opinion. It gets credit for things it didn't do. It has flaws ignored because people have a decade of nostalgic attachment to it. And because the largest creators in the Borderlands fandom have that as their favorite. So they... Basically, it's an amplification effect. If someone with a lot of reach is downplaying or overplaying certain things about a game, it echoes out farther. Simple as that. Hitting aggressively just like Jake. My cat does do that. One DLC TPS got is probably one of the best DLCs in Borderlands history. I think most people who have played it would agree with that. Narratively, it holds up very well. It's extremely creative, and it adds quality replayable content. Very few other DLCs they've ever tried to do in the Lands franchise have done good content and good story in the same place, right? Like, let's take BL3's DLC season, for example. The first 4 DLCs very well received in terms of, you know, narrative quality. People liked them to varying degrees, but people liked the storytelling. They didn't have shit for replayable content. So, like, checked one box, not the other. But like Claptastic, checked both. That's a big W. I don't know, to be honest, because I played BL2 the most, but I got BL3 like 5 weeks ago. Shit's fun. Yeah, so like, that's the thing. The thing you like most, you will see most favorably, and if you hang out around only people who share your opinions on that, then of course, you're gonna assume that it's like a majority opinion, right? Because if everyone around you, it creates a feedback loop. Something I've been enjoying doing lately. Wasn't really a concerted effort, but I've just coincidentally been spending more time around people who don't necessarily care for BL3 as much as other games in the franchise, but people who are, like, not shitty about it. People like Gage, like Vocal, like Seth. Like, I enjoy them personally and also their content. And they have some very valid criticisms of this game. They don't, like, invent flaws. Well, even though we have different preferences in terms of, like, favorite game, there's actually some good discourse there. No echo chamber shit. Enjoy you too? Qua. Like Tina DLC and BL2 story was fun. The actual gameplay and content are some of the worst in BL2. Oh yeah, enemy design in Tina DLC is bad. But like, Tina DLC as a movie, incredible. If they made like an animated limited series out of that shit, you know how well that would do? Just like copy Vox Machina, but like Tina Dragon Keep DLC. That shit would do so well with Borderlands fans. But like actually playing it, awful. Terrible. Watch the fuck out of that. Me too. It'd be so sick.
Appear to have been ripped apart, someone just burst open from within.
Coursing through my veins.
I think there's a reason why Wonderlands was the thing that became a spin-off. It's because they clearly put the most effort into the narrative, like, elements and the world building in Dragon Keep DLC in that game. Like, they didn't try half as hard anywhere else. Which is why no one gives a shit about the Hammerlock DLC. Torg DLC is mostly disliked, despite Mr. Torg himself being a good character.
This is so goddamn sublime.
So slow. Water Gobbler best DLC. Favorite BL2 DLC is Scarlet's. I think that's mine too. Because it introduced some interesting gear. Now, some of it maybe didn't need to be the way it is. I'm looking at you, Pimpernel. But introduced some cool gear. It had an interesting antagonist. Multiple raid bosses. Like, it introduced a bunch of cool shit. The only vehicle gameplay in the franchise I actually don't mind. Campaign of Carnage mostly played up for laughs. Yeah. Yeah. Sandhawk, sad face, or smiley face. I mean, Sandhawk is just a good gun. Sandhawk is not problematic until you introduce the B shield, and guess what? That's not the Sandhawk being problematic, that's the B shield being problematic. Sandhawk's just a good gun that people like using, that feels good to use. Sure, farming a Sandhawk is not fun, but that's what happens when you got unfarmable items that you have to save edit to get multiple copies of. That's what read-only farming is. It's save editing. But yeah, I think Scarlet DLC was pretty good. One of the few that checks both the narrative and gameplay boxes, in my opinion. It's like Claptastic, Scarlet, and Director's Cut do that, in my opinion. Scarlet had the cursed items, which conceptually could have been interesting if expanded upon. Yeah, yeah. And, like, Rapier is cool. A melee weapon, like a weapon you really want to hold for melee builds. Introduce the Auto Idol. Auto Idol is technically a returning item from that DLC. Introduce Seraphs, right? Big W. There's no reason why you can't just reset missions in Borderlands games. An attempt to bloat the player's playtime by giving them busy work. That's what it is. Not necessarily the only issue. Sandhawk's unlisted projectiles becomes problematic. We've gotten the same treatment that the conference call did early on. That's true, but here's the thing. Conference call, even though it got touched, is still one of the most desirable and powerful items with or without the B shield. And you could solve all of these problems by just hitting the B shield. Like, why individually tune every item that overperforms when combined with another item when you could have just hit that item that's being applied to everything else? Not nerfing the B shield is a slippery slope that led to the OP 10 HP being even more of a problem. Nerfs are good for game health, and the B shield is a perfect example of why. And like, as franchises evolve, it's funny to see how these items do carry between games. Like, you could put the B in this game, right? In Borderlands 3, but because AMP works differently, and because we have a lot
of damage increasing shield options in this game, and direct damaging shields in this game, the bee wouldn't even be like a top 5 shield in Borderlands 3. It would be comparatively forgettable. I actually can't think of a situation I would use it. Maybe some boss melts with, like, Gorillas in the Mist. Maybe, but, like, Revolter exists. Mose would use other amp shields, because she can already make them always on, and Infernal Wish and version 0.m have other more desirable effects, as does Mana Well. It would push Amara gameplay into even more of a you need your shield fully up or you're fucked situation for like Berserker gun builds. Because pre-Expedite, if you didn't have topped off, your cooldown was terrible on Amara. That's the same playstyle as you have no damage if your B shield isn't on. And then like, I guess Zane would benefit heavily from it, but like, does Zane need more damage? This is the thing. Like, would it change? Because Infernal Wish is used on Hustler Racer like Creamer Tech right now, because there's just more instances. Now, B would be, provided you could keep it on, B would be more damage, but fewer instances, so you'd lose Hustler consistency, so I don't think I would even run it there. Yeah, like, it wouldn't be a meta pick on any character. Then you get Amp from Barriers, we know how valuable that is. I guess Redistributor B would be a thing. It'd probably be a popular pick. It'll allow you to not use Barrier if you wanted to go that route. You'd have to play very, very defensively, but it'd be an option. Fair, I suppose I didn't notice it much, so I don't really use the B much in later stages, same with Sandhawk and CC. Yeah, like, you as a player who experiments and has a lot of playtime in-game to know what's good and what isn't, it's obviously going to affect you less. But if you look at it from, like, your average player perspective, where they only know the items that are central to content that's been created. Like, they know the Herald and Fastball are good. They know that the Ruby and Grog Nozzle are items every character picks up at some point. They maybe know if you're gonna punch things, get a rapier. They know about the B shield. They know where to get the B shield. Pimpernel, Sandhawk. They know that stuff. But, like, ask one of those people what to do with their shield slot other than a B. They will tell you a sham, and they will usually be wrong, because that shield isn't as useful as it's made out to be. And they won't be able to tell you another shield. It's not like other options don't exist, but they're very character dependent, and that means some characters have very few options for increasing their damage in that slot than others. Like, a Rough Rider is not an every one shield, right? Blockade, antagonist, good shields, but not as popular. Top light. Yeah, that's one of the biggest differences between 2 and 3. That I've noticed with, like, endgame build stuff. The shield slot diversity really goes crazy. And even certain items that are still good in 2 just shine more in 3. Like, Big Boom Blaster. I always forget Big Boom Blaster was a Seraph in 2. Like, based item. Based. Super fucking cool. Like, no one gives a shit about Big Boom Blaster in 2. In 3, though, is crazy useful. But it still gets overshadowed by more popular options. I should be perfectly clear on that. I always push back on people saying that the Revolter is the B of this game, but in one way, it's similar, and that being, it is a shield that is stronger than it needs to be, but is still not the only option for a lot of scenarios. But
is very centralizing in terms of popularity,
It does not appear to have been ripped apart so much as
so
burst
community
open
perception of the shield slot has suffered because of it. In that way, B and Revolter are very similar. But I do think B was more of a balance problem than Revolter ever was.
Don't run from me.
10 foot. That's one. What was the other one? Yeah, that one. It's okay though. The booster's not having auto pickup for those shields. Yeah, auto pickup boosters was actually a post-launch addition to BL3. I always forget that it was, but yeah, we didn't always have that.
Those vines are identical to those found on Necrotheo. I never thought to connect them to that planet's disintegrating structure.
That was actually a really unfortunate combo breaker. Ate my avatar charge.
More crystals.
Good movement though.
Love an extra set of hands. Come on, I want the damn challenge. You've just made a big mistake. Unstoppable.
This is a little awkward. Got it though.
My
Would've liked that kill.
alien world, I live.
Health booster shield's one of my favorite arms race items. Can't imagine needing to hit E to pick them up. It was really, like, no one used boosters at all before that change. It was just so impractical.
Come on, I want the damn challenge.
Booster parts were basically viewed like projected parts were at the time.
Then
In
go.
terms of, oh, great, I got this. Yay. I missed that action. Pretty bad. Oh, no, we're good.
Thanks, guys.
then to burn to meet a coward's end.
Feeling good.
Got the dot there, that's big. It could have been better. Could also have been way worse. Got a good combo breaker proc there. Okay, we cooking. We cooking.
Back off. Let's make this quick, yeah?
That's over. Luckily, we have a shit ton of backup strats in this build.
Oh, my little.
Could be another like 815, 820-ish, I think. If I continue to play okay. Like, not that. That was not good. Off the second there. Missed my grenade though. Don't bump me. $819.
We built for the Destroyer an endless perfect cage. A billion souls to keep.
Oh, I
A world
mantle boosted in the wrong direction. Pain. There's some movement tech you can do there. Basically, your momentum gets stored when you mantle off of something, so if you mantle while you're going fast enough, you get a huge launch. And I got the launch there, which I suck at normally doing, except I launched myself into a wall instead of out the doorway. Awkward.
So goddamn sublime.
Gonna use my action skill here. Okay, we're about 3 seconds ahead of where I'm trying to be. That's good. Gonna have my action skill.
Better move.
As long as the cat that's right next to me doesn't try to jump up on my desk, we're good. We're chilling. Oh, I don't know my actions though. Okay, we're good.
Absolute masterclass.
Kinda. Okay. Cat. Ow. Oh, they're doing so much damage. Okay. Sorry, I'm slacking on the chat messages. This is an okay run. It's not exactly where I want to be pace-wise, but it's better than a lot of the other ones today, so I'm focusing up a little bit.
You are of light, and yet you do not comprehend the risk we all have bargained we must take.
Okay. I got most of them to spawn for her. Ah, damn it. That's really unfortunate. I knew that was gonna happen as soon as I got stuck on that corner. I got too greedy. Gravity snare killed Amara. Yeah, I had a schedule there. That was unfortunate. But I'm actually just kind of, like, happy that I played that last section well to that point. Like, crystals went pretty well there. So, I'm just gonna try to do that again, muscle memory-wise. Good progress. I had a build that made use of the Big Boom Blaster in 2. I think it was Grenade Action or some such. Love it. Love the concept. Pretty sure through the whole Vindicator Gas Call farm, I've got a max damage Fearmonger in every element, but in total seen maybe 7 of them, and maybe 3 max damage Stalkers. Wow. That's interesting. Are the rates different on those two guns? Little Door is surprisingly hard to jump through. The hitboxes on them are interesting in general, Tom. So, like, that top section right there, there's no collision there. You can climb through that. You can climb through that side on the one after, Crystals 1. And the mantle hitbox is pretty generous for getting on this little portion. The very weird collision on these doors. Strange. Strange choices. Consider static fish extreme risk for extreme reward. Is that worth losing elemental projector for the entire run? Like, my action skill is gonna stop being able to one-shot things. My Pestilence Nova is gonna get a lot weaker. My body and mind is gonna get a lot weaker. Like, sure, Static Fish would be better into Scourge and Anathema, but I'm having no problems with Anathema, and I just need to aim better on Scourge. It would be not particularly helpful.
replace the auto on that LA projector. Yeah, right. I'm stupid. Never mind. Retract that. Okay, that's a little more actionable. Thing is, though, how many times have I been at like 25% and lived because of an auto idle full heal? Like, Samsara is great, but Samsara alone. Like, Samsara and Clarity by themselves, that's good health regen. I'm just not super confident that they're enough. I guess maybe if I took a point in ebb and flow, then I'd still have auto idle effect on melee kills. But like, for example, if I'm not getting any ebb and flow kills in this hypothetical, and I'm not getting auto idle anymore, if I have a dot murdering me, I can't stop it. If I'm already at like 30%, my driver dot is going to kill me. Now, it'll hit a little less hard because I won't have projector, interestingly enough. But like, I don't know. I just don't think I gain much. Like, I lose a lot of consistency, and what do I gain? Jake, what are you doing? Like, he's poising to jump on my desk, and I don't know why. Are you hungry? You only do this when you're hungry. Let me check the food. Let me check the food. 1 second. Have food, you little nut. Maybe it's the fact that you can see the bot. You're gonna start screaming at the door again soon, but I appreciate you regardless. Range for Guardians and scarier Groundbreakers. Yeah. I don't know if that's worth. Like, I also am no longer safe from my own fish if I do that. Static charge bonus element will one-shot me. I don't know.
Ooh, it's a break.
What could have happened here? The planet does not appear to have been ripped apart so much as burst open from within.
That's just something I should route in as well. Letting enemies hit me occasionally to break my shield so I keep trusting yourself swap speed up. Seems pretty useful. Enemies? Why are you there? That's so lame. That was hideous. Nope, reset. Badge. Badge.
Do better.
An MMR, enemies hit me so I can de-ult. I mean, it's 80% additional swap speed and reload speed after my shield's been broken.
It feels so good.
See how fast we can swap? And then as soon as it ends, it's very difficult to hit that timing.
Ruin.
What could have happened here? The planet does not appear to have been ripped apart, but just burst open from within.
Pulsing through my veins. Mediocre. Absolute massacre. Run.
Like right now, I don't need auto light. But in crystals, I'm gonna die without it.
Come off for me.
During anathema too, probably.
An Iridian temple! That must be the source of the signal.
Unfortunate.
These Guardians are different somehow. They attacked this planet. What purpose could they have?
How many items did I fucking get here? Too many. You ask me. Not enough if you ask the game. That was so slow.
Interesting.
I'm resetting that. 220 hitting the button is not fast.
Time to throw in.
Not the bad movement.
Always useful.
What could have happened here? The planet does not appear to have been ripped apart, so much as burst open from within.
Ready to unleash this power.
It's gonna be tough to recover. Probably impossible. See, I'm trying to do so much in this opener. I'm trying to free throw some fish. I'm trying to get my terror. Keep my driver dot active when I'm starting the takedown, and then as much as I can during this mobbing. Angle my action skill in a way where it actually hits something. And position myself close enough to enemies that they can break my shield for trusting yourself. It's a lot to do. All of that while looking at my minimap and trying to keep enemies in Nova range.
I am brimming. Fight for me? Oh, you shouldn't have.
An Iridian temple! That must be the source
I don't know, man. I feel like you don't have enough to focus on in this room. That's valid.
These structures are thousands of years old, but there is no record of any Iridian ruins on Minos. If that is the case, this temple must have been transported here from elsewhere.
I can feel the power.
I'm not a groundbreaker there. Why are you alive? Like, same speed as the last run. Whatever. Played out. At work, still haven't had a customer today. Well, chill days are good, right, Moo? I mean, obviously you don't want them all to be chill, because sometimes you want money, but, like, sometimes a chill day is nice. Rather be in bed playing Bloodborne. Feel that. I lurked a bit during your evening stream.
I'm unstoppable.
Like, auto idle just saved me right there. Stand the auto idle.
My burden is a building
Hello.
world. I live and die, while others watch and turn blind
I need to restart my game. It's starting to run choppy already, which understandable considering what I've been putting it through in today's stream, but
Stay alive.
PC does also run just a bit worse while I'm recording, so.
You're dealing with a siren.
sheepishly grotesque flame with words of wind. Come then to burn beneath a tower.
Ready to unleash this power.
I didn't get my terror. That's a mistake.
Talk to the hands. Destroy.
Hey, Chris. like Static Fish would be one of the... This fight is one of the real showcases of it, and like I'm not having trouble without it. As long as I aim my Tendabo well. And get enough expedite stacks. Chilling. Hands falling asleep is my elbow position. Really uncomfortable. I've done better.
I am the greatest.
823, 824. I can't complain too much with how rough the start was.
We built for the destroyer.
Also, I'm doing this at like 30 FPS.
Souls begin, a world alone.
I got the boost.
Though our fallen masters pay the bloody wage, your greed unbars the door. Destruction walks.
Fuck off, dude. That's so unfortunate. I bounced off an enemy. 26 FPS I saw. Yeah, I bounced off an enemy and I just couldn't react. Only restart game. Just because it's running like fiat. Give me one second.